Hello and welcome to Asian College of Teachers. Guess what we are going to talk about today? Well, today we're going to talk about something fun and interesting that you can do in the classroom to make your lesson much more interesting and to hold on to the tensions of your learners. So what is it? However, before that, let's look at the situation here. Imagine a teacher entering in a classroom and starts teaching a lesson. Do you think that is effective? Well, unfortunately, the answer is no, it's not effective. So, what can we do as teachers to make the whole lesson get going? You see, whenever we learn or whenever we are there to learn something new, there is an effective filter which is high in our minds. Therefore, the strategy is that give your students something more easy, which will make them more relaxed, more comfortable, and gradually take them to something more complex. So, how do we do it? Well, the answer is you have a variety of warm-up techniques, or shall we call it a warm-up, energizer, stirrers. Names are many, but the efficacy is still the same. So let's talk about how you can implement warmer. What is a warmer and what are the benefits of warmer in your classroom to get the magic going? So what is a warmer? A warmer is a fun, short, quick activity, or it could be a game as well, that you conduct in the classroom before you go to your actual lesson. Now, as I said, that warmer should be short, fun and quick activity or a game. So short means what should be the duration of a warmer. So the duration of a warmer can range from 2 to 3 minutes. Well, that depends what is the entire length of your lesson. And it can go up to 5 to 7 minutes. So let's look at a lesson that I have to conduct, and the lesson is for about 30 to 35 minutes. So I can always conduct a warmer at the very beginning, which is 2 to 3 minutes. And if I have a lesson to teach for 40-45 minutes, I can always conduct a warmer which ranges from 5 to 7 minutes. So now let's look into the area that why a warmer is necessary, or what are the benefits of a warmer? Okay, so the first situation, a warmer sets the tone of your classroom. For example, as a teacher, I want to teach my learners today about fruits, so maybe the colors, the taste, or the different names of fruits. So, the first thing first, what I can do is, I can just do a simple fruit salad song, like peel banana. Now, what you need to keep in mind is that the warmer, you must not have the intention to teach something new. Because when you're conducting a warmer, you're not really assessing your students or you're pressurizing them to learn something new. As I mentioned before, it should be fun. So that when they do a fun song like a peel banana, automatically, so this warmer gets connected to your main lesson. Now, what are the other ways? For example, you can also conduct a short quiz just to check how much vocabulary they have retained from their previous teachings. Now, warmer always need not be connected to your main lesson, or that is not mandatory. It can be a standalone warmer too. So you can just conduct a simple action-based warmer. Right, you can just line up your students and you can just conduct a word relay or word recognition race on the whiteboard. So a lot of actions, less of talking, or sometimes even more of talking, but that kind of a talking necessarily is not about testing the linguistic proficiency of your learners, because the whole objective is to make them feel relaxed. And when do you feel relaxed? When you have a lot of fun. So this is one situation, or a couple of different variety, keeping in mind one situation that we looked into. Now we will see some more situations. Okay, so now let's look into a situation for a new teacher. So here is a new teacher and she has a new class to begin. Here, the warmers come across as the most fantastic tool that you can ever think of using if you know how to use it judiciously. Okay, now, what kind of warmers will you implement for a new class? Now we call it communicative warmers. Now as the name suggests, communicative, which means there has to be a lot of communication among the students, but before that there has to be some communication from the teacher to the students, but you can still conduct in a fun manner. So let's look into one example. So if it's a new class, and typically in a new class we all like to introduce ourselves. So here the teacher can give an example and can say, okay, so here we are going to play a short activity where all of us are going to say our names, and at the same time we are going to pass a parcel to one another and we're going to greet one another. So you can have a soft toy, something very interesting as your aid, and you can bring them to a circle, and then you can start your warmer simply by saying, so as a teacher I say, hi, my name is June, and you can simply pass the parcel to the learner who's next to you. And when that student receives the parcel from you, the learner has to say, thank you, June. I am Mary, and this is for you. And this continues. So whosoever receives the parcel will have to repeat the name of the previous person. Now you see, there are two things we are taking into consideration over here, where you're introducing yourselves and also you are saying the name of the person who is giving the parcel to you, and also you're inculcating the values of greeting, like thank you. Now the next question. What if the teacher say, well, I want to conduct a warmer which is full of fun. I'm not in the mood to conduct a communicative based warmer. Well, sure you can. Here, just keep in mind, try to incorporate body movements. Body movements, in other words, TPR based warmers, or total physical response. Now the total physical response is a methodology which you can combine in a warmer. So what is it? So very simple thing, like you can always draw something on the board. For example, you draw a remote control, and as you've seen, remote has different buttons, and on each of the buttons you can write some action words like jump, sing, cry, sit, hop, skip, sing, whatever that comes to your mind. And that's a great way of really testing them, or you can say to check their identification with the real action and the word. So the teacher simply presses the different button and the students react accordingly. Trust me, students have a lot of fun doing this kind of a warmer. So this is a very typically TPR based warmer where they are not producing any language, but it's considered still a warmer because they're having fun, and when they have fun, your affective filter lowers down, you're relaxed, you're comfortable, and you're all set for your new lesson. Last but not the least, let's quickly see some of the golden rules that you must remember when you're conducting a warmer. First and foremost, warmer is typically or ideally conducted at the very beginning of a class. So let's say the morning. However, am I just restricted to conduct a warmer at the beginning of a day? No. You can conduct a warmer at any point of time when you see that maybe the energy of your class is dipping, or just before the lunch, or probably just before they are going to go home. So yes, you can plug the warmer according to the requirement of your class. The next thing, do not get carried away with a warmer, and don't make a warmer too long. So the time frame is either 2 to 3 minutes or 5 to 7 minutes. The next thing, you can always use a warmer as a form of testing their previous knowledge, but please remember to put the fun elements in it. Therefore, don't jump into a conclusion or try to correct their language when you are conducting a warmer, but just make a good observation. Next, make it a lot of fun. And how do you make it a lot of fun? With some body movements, and that really energizes them completely. So teachers, here you have a magical tip. And what are you waiting for? Please go and conduct these warmers to not only make your lesson effective, but warmers are a great way to strengthen the bond or the rapport between the teachers and the students. So wishing you all the best and get set.